Broadcasting from our super expensive state-of-the-art satellite that was recently eaten by a giant piranha plant to your computer or mobile device, this is Minecraft News! Hello and welcome to Minecraft News, bringing you the most news for your views. I'm Adam, aka Swimming Bird, filling in for Peter Pooter, and there's a lot of news this week, so let's get down to it. Now, the first bit of news here is Dinnerbone talked about the player skulls. Now, the Steve head is already in the game, as some of you might have seen from the snapshots, but this is a hidden feature from last week's snapshot 12W37A. Map makers and modders can actually go in and edit the Steve skull item to show the player skull of any player that they choose. Now, right now, you would have to go in and edit it like I mentioned, but it is possible maybe in the future they would add the ability for players to actually have these as a rare drop from PvP, but I can see why Dinnerbone would be reluctant to add this because it could really screw with the balance of servers, having a bunch of people killing each other to try to get each other's skulls, and it would be madness. So this is probably something that at best they would make it up to the server provider whether they want to actually put it on there, but it won't be in vanilla as far as we know. But it's pretty cool. You can at least just have skulls of all your favorites, as you can see here. But in other news, Dinnerbone also mentioned that the Nether is now, finally, the portals are going to maintain momentum for real this time. In the previous updates, the Nether portals have still just acted as teleport pads, but now they're supposed to actually act as portals, at least for non-player entities like arrows and animals and whatnot. So they will maintain their momentum. When you shoot an arrow through, it'll keep flying until it hits something on the other side. So that's pretty cool. We'll have to test that for non-player stuff in the next snapshot this week and see if you can jump through and maintain your momentum. So speaking of the Nether stars, and if you've been paying attention to the last few snapshots, you've seen these Nether stars. They drop from the Wither and they're used to craft the beacon block. Well, someone on Twitter asked Dinnerbone, if there's no moon, no day-night cycle, no sky in the Nether, where do these Nether stars come from? And in a bit of lore, Dinnerbone mentioned that the Nether stars, maybe they fell to corruption eons ago. So there's a bit of Minecraft lore to you. Maybe the Nether was made from a world that was normal but fell to corruption. Now, another thing in 12W37A that I actually missed this week is that skeletons pick up pumpkins and put them on their heads, which is a pretty cool little Halloween update. It doesn't really do anything in gameplay, but it looks kind of funny, and this is a cool little Easter egg. Speaking of skeletons, though, a new ranged mob has been talked about by Dinnerbone and Jeb. Now, this is exciting. It's going to be the second overworld ranged mob after the skeleton, and it's actually supposed to be perfect for Halloween. Dinnerbone said that Jeb was working on some Halloween update, and it gave Dinnerbone the inspiration to come up with this mob. So who knows what it could be? People are theorizing like crazy, like maybe it's a ghost that shoots projectiles, which I think is probably a little unlikely because we already have gas in the game. But maybe it's like a witch that rides on a broomstick and shoots spells. That could be because maybe Jeb's implementing broomsticks where we can fly around on those and actually fly without creative, which is something they've talked about for a long time, giving us the ability to do that. So who knows, we might actually learn in this week's snapshot if it's ready. So in a few days we might have the answers for that. So stay tuned for that, but cool new ranged mob coming. Now, another Twitter user asked Jeb about Dinnerbone about adventure maps, and saying creepers can really ruin adventure maps by messing up walls and with their explosions, messing up redstone. And Dinnerbone talked about how in 1.4 and in the snapshots already, in adventure mode, you can type game rule mod griefing false to turn off creeper explosions. So that should help people who are making adventure maps. The cape systems, this is for anyone who has a cape or is going to get the cape in the future from maybe Minecon is the most likely way. Someone was asking, how can you choose which cape you want to use? Because some people like their old one better than the new Minecon one that's coming up. So Dinnerbone said he's actually going to add, Mojang's going to add a system for choosing which cape you want to have on. So this is for those fortunate enough to have multiple capes. You're going to be able to decide which one you have on. Now, one last bit of news before we go. Horses. Now, this is another thing that a Twitter user asked Dinnerbone about. Horses have been promised for a long time, and that was one of those things that Jeb said he promised horses and Notch promised red dragons, so both of those were going to be in the game eventually. But at this point, Dinnerbone, when asked about horses for easier transportation, said, "Who needs horses when you have pigs?" And indeed, we do in the new 1.4 snapshots and in the update eventually, we're going to have pig mounts that are very easy to ride on. And why do we really need horses? He brings up a good point. If we have pigs, I think pigs fit the Minecraft world a little better because it's kind of funny, like a lot of the Minecraft humor, riding around on pigs and stuff. So that might end up being our main source of ground transportation other than minecarts and stuff. And horses might not even make it into the game, but we'll see. Jeb did say that they were promised. I really want pig armor if we're going to have these pig mounts, so we got to keep them alive longer. So I did a little mock-up here, as you can see, and I think that would be really cool if we can give them a couple pairs of booties and put a helmet on them and have them a little armored for battle, maybe even jousting or something. Anyways, that's it for the news for now. We're probably going to get some more tidbits leading up to the snapshot this week, but we'll see what comes in there. So thank you for watching, and maybe we'll see the new ranged mob and all that stuff in this week's snapshot. I'll bring you that in a few days on Thursday. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed this news program, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.